What's up, everybody? Dylan from Redline here. Today we are going to be talking about my exhaust setup on my 2013 Audi S4. Let's get to it. Now, as I said before, today we are going to be talking about my exhaust setup on my 2013 Audi S4. So let's hop into what my setup is. Now, I am running Redstar test pipes to stock down pipes to an Armytrix Valvetronic Exhaust. That's a Catback system. Now, test pipes are by no means a requirement on these vehicles, but my car is dual pulley, and for my intensive purposes, I do need to be catless. Cats are also a failure point on these cars. They like to melt and a bunch of bad stuff happens with that. So the test pipes were a no-brainer for me, although they do produce kind of a raspy noise. So it's kind of difficult to get a good sounding exhaust out of these cars, especially with test pipes. Today I do plan to do a POV drive and the sound of it from outside and inside. I actually just invested in a GoPro and a new head mount and all that cool stuff. So why not try it out now? Now, real quick, before we do hop into the POV, I do want to mention I am not sponsored by either of these exhaust companies, Redstar or Armytrix, although I would love to be. My car did come with the Armytrix when I purchased it already. I got the Redstar test pipes myself, and this is by no means my finalized exhaust setup. I think I'm going to get some resonators for the car just to tone down on the rasp a little bit, because when the valves are open, having test pipes as well, the sound can get kind of raspy. But when the valves are closed, it's a good daily driving sound, as you'll come to find out. I'll show you guys clips of both valves open and valves closed. And I do also plan to show you guys a little two-step launch control. I am tuned by 034 Motorsports. Shout out to them. And their advanced launch control feature is pretty sick. I don't always have the valves open. This is typically only when I'm racing or at the track. But this is the idle with open valves. Here is what the car sounds like with the valves closed. Sounds like your typical exhaust system, very dailyable in this state, as you'll come to see. I personally love how it sounds with the valves closed. It's not too obnoxious, but you still get that little rumble. To start the video off, guys, we are in valve close mode, comfort, and we're just cruising so you guys can get a feel of how this is daily driving. The exhaust isn't too drony as it sits. It's actually quite livable. Now when the valves are open, as you probably could tell in the revving in the two-step video, it's a whole different animal. The car just, it's obnoxious. So yeah, let's talk about valve close, comfort mode, and your daily driving. We got Rachel over here manning the phone, making sure the settings are all good on this GoPro, because this is like my first time using it for POV driving. I do also apologize for it being nighttime. Here in Ohio, it gets dark at about 5 o'clock, and I wanted to bust this video off for you guys. So, driving every day with comfort mode and the valves closed, it's quite quiet, as I said. I mean, as you can probably tell, there's almost no noise. You hear the supercharger whine a little bit when you get on the throttle. That's about it. I mean, it's very livable and I have no complaints. Now, when you get up to about, I'll show you here, as you get up to about 3,000 RPMs in your driving, it's got like a not too satisfying noise. The same can be said with the valves closed and open. About 3,500 RPMs. I would like to refer to it as a trumpet sound. It gets quite annoying. Kind of sounds like a VQ. Here's a little pull with the valves closed. This is what it sounds like. I mean, it's got a decent sound. It's not too bad, not too overbearing. I have no complaints with the valves closed. But like I said, when you do get up to about 3,000, it does have like a little raspy sound. But yeah, even when you get on it a little bit, not too bad of a sound. I enjoy it. This is the mode I am in probably the most. It's comfort and valves closed. I am in sport mode, or well, dynamic mode. It's an Audi. I'm in sport mode most of the time with the valves open when I'm at the track or if I'm racing, mainly because I don't want to blow the valves out. As I said in the intro, Armytrix recommends to have the valves open whenever you're like above 3,500 RPMs, just to prevent blowing them out. So that's gonna about conclude it for the valves closed sound of the exhaust. And then we will see what it sounds like with the valves open, and I'll head over into dynamic mode. Now with my 034 tune, there are a little bit of crackles and pops when you're in dynamic mode. Thankfully, you can turn those off by being in comfort mode, which doesn't hinder too much performance. But yeah, it's nice that you can turn those pops and crackles off when you don't want to be annoyed or annoy other people. So here's what that sounds like. So I've pulled off. Let's throw this thing. Let's open these valves up. All you gotta do is click on, put it in sport mode, drive select, dynamic, and this thing gets quite obnoxious. You can already hear it a little bit. Oh my goodness, this car's so loud with the valves open, it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, it's got those pops and crackles, like I said, when you're in dynamic mode, but they can be kind of fun to toy around with. I'm not gonna lie. Here's what dynamic mode valves open sound like with the windows up. So say you're like daily driving it. I am shifting with the paddles currently because I don't want it to get up to like 4K. Sometimes when you're in dynamic mode with the tune, with the TCU tune that is, car thinks you're on a track, and well, obviously when you're racing you want to be at a higher RPM for the most power, but we're just cruising some back roads right now. But around 3K you can hear that trumpet noise that I was talking about. It gets kind of annoying being at that level. I'm not a fan of how this sounds at that RPM. Here's a little pull for you guys. Rachel's over here not happy that I just, you're fine? Yeah.
Don't pass a cop.
Yeah, we're in Mexico, so I mean, it's all good. We're in Mexico City. Speed limit's 35. We're going less than that, obviously. We abide by the law around here.
Mexico City?
Yeah, in Mexico City, we abide by the law. We never speed or race, because why would you ever want to do that? Especially driving a car like this. There's no reason to do such a thing. Oh, big bump. Ugh.
The rules even more because we're behind someone that actually
right now we're behind a law-abiding citizen, so you guys can definitely get a feel for how the daily driving is with the valves open. At lower RPMs, it's still not overly loud. Like, it's definitely an amplified noise, but it's not too loud. What's the girlfriend's opinion?
I think it's fine.
She thinks it's fine. It's definitely a little more raspy.
Yeah. I like the sound of it with the valves open though.
The green lights. Green means go, buddy.
Even in Mexico City, come on.
you guys heard it. Got the girlfriend's approval. Personally, I like a sleeper kind of thing. So whenever I'm cruising around, I keep the valves closed up until the point that someone tries to test it. You know, you get them little Subaru guys out there. No offense to the Subi guy. Well, take offense to it.
Full offense.
Yeah, full offense. But whenever you come up on me thinking that this is a little Audi sedan and then get gapped, well, that's a cool thing about a valved exhaust. You can be a little undercover when you want to be. I probably wouldn't run this exhaust setup if it didn't have that feature, solely because at times for me it can be a little too obnoxious. But when I first got the car, I was cruising around with the valves open all the time because, I don't know, I thought it sounded cool. But I guess I've matured in that aspect, and I prefer a sleeper. We'll get some fire action for you guys. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the burple tunes and all that, but when you have it on your car, the occasional like street terrorizing is kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know why people do it, but it's definitely something. It's interesting to say the least. How you feel about the burples, Rachel? You a burple girl?
No comment.
No comment, she says. Now, Rachel's dream car is a Subaru,
Don't even.
or a Focus ST, she said.
No, don't even. That's disgusting. No offense, but full offense.
I told her I was going to sell the S4 and get into an ST and just have the most obnoxious burple tune known to man, but she wasn't a fan of that one.
No.
But yeah, this exhaust is definitely livable in terms of daily driving. Having the option for valves is very nice, especially having test pipes. Now my old S4, my B8 that I had, that was just a full stock exhaust and a ECS tuning X pipe. And the noise of that car, like, its sound level was almost perfect. It was, I would compare it to how this car sounds with the valves closed. And we're getting pulled over. Well, I guess it's time for an outro because I kind of forgot to do that last night. I was a little preoccupied. But yeah, overall, it was a good experience with the cop. I mean, he was cool. I was supposedly going a tad over the speed limit. I don't know how true that is. I thought the speed limit was 45, but as long as you're cool with the cop, they're usually good to you back. Respect your cops, treat them like humans. They'll treat you like humans. All in all, I do enjoy my exhaust setup. As I said before, it is Redstar test pipes to an Armytrix Catback exhaust that's valved. Now, typically, I drive around with the valves closed and in comfort mode. That's what I'm in right now. Very dailyable, like I said. And whenever you want to be obnoxious, have a little bit of fun with it, you can certainly do that. It's a good all-around exhaust. Whether you want to race car, sleeper, whatever your end goal is, you can do just about everything with it. With that being said, I do plan on eventually probably getting some resonators. I was looking at the MagnaFlow. I believe they're 1138 is what they're called. Resonators, just to tone down the rasp a little bit, see if it helps. But other than that, I have no complaints. The exhaust is held up very, very well. I do like the exhaust. It's been on the car for about 50,000 miles in total, and I have noticed like zero corrosion or any sign of cheap materials being used. At that given price point, I would hope that good materials and quality are being used on the system, and to this point it has shown, and I have no complaints in that. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. If you guys are into anything automotive or car related, I make content 3 times a week here on the channel. I do everything from POV car reviews, DIYs, mod reviews, installs, everything, the whole 9 yards. If it's cars, we're doing it here on Redline. So feel free to drop a sub. It helps me out a lot, and I'm very excited to get the channel going. I'd like to also say Happy New Year's to you guys. I just hit 110 subscribers. I'm very excited about that. I appreciate each and every one of you, and to all of you who've reached out to me on Instagram and everything, gave me the compliments. It really means a lot. I'm really enjoying YouTube already, and I plan to stick with it for quite some time. So for that, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm out. Thanks.